President Biden stressed his commitment to fighting for voting rights reform while delivering the commencement address at South Carolina State University earlier today. He was invited and accompanied by Congressman Jim Clyburn, who is an alum of the HBCU, and President Biden once again expressed that an assault on voting rights is a threat to America's democracy.
I've never seen anything like the unrelenting assault on the right to vote. Never. I don't think any of you have on this stage ever seen it. Not a joke. And folks, as John Lewis said, it is the only, without the right to vote, there is no democracy.
The president's remarks come just days after Senate Democrats furthered their efforts to get Senator Joe Manchin to lend his support in using the nuclear option to change the filibuster. Alterations to the filibuster would enable Democrats to end the standstill on both the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the For the People Act. Both Senators Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema have remained unrelenting in their stance against changes being made to the filibuster. So despite President Biden's commitment to voting rights reform, the nation has not progressed on the issue since both bills passed in the House months ago. Well, back with us to discuss the president is the president of Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote, Holli Holliday. Thanks, Holly, for coming back and joining us. All right, Holly, is the president really committed to voting rights, or is he bringing this up now forcefully because his Build Back Better agenda was stalling?
Well, let's hope he's for voting rights because the state legislatures are going back in session in January, and we already know what they're capable of. So if we don't get serious about voting rights, it's going to be a tough midterm in 2022. I will note, however, that I was fascinated that he purposely chose South Carolina State to reinvigorate the message of voting rights, because I'm not sure that African Americans are the one who need to get the note. I think, certainly Black women and the Black community in general has consistently been pushing this message. I know myself, I've been out marching and rallying with Melanie Campbell and Janice Mathis and those organizations that have been rallying almost weekly to call attention to this. I think, we could use him spreading that word in other communities, majority communities, maybe in West Virginia and Arizona, for instance, to ensure that people really understand how serious it is. And it's not just a Black issue. Yes, it desperately impacts Black communities, but it really impacts all communities.
Yeah, it does feel like he's preaching to the choir a little bit. It does. But Holly, give us an example of the issues specific to Black women that this stall in voting rights impacts the most?
Yeah, well, we already know we are not under the protection of Shelby, which means that we are facing and have faced since the Supreme Court rolled that back, the protections of preclearance, which means in many communities, they don't have an access to voting polls. We saw this in many cases, especially across the South, where there would be limits on where early voting locations were, the access to be able to get ballots. COVID shows us, if we look at what happened during the election in 2020 and COVID, where there was an intentionality to expand access to the ballot, and we literally saw voters coming out of the woodwork, and especially Black women coming out and voting their full strength and power. And we know that is just proof that when we have access to the ballot, people will vote. And these are things like early voting, same-day voter registration, making sure that we have drop boxes. I can point to, if you look at voting, there was in Harris County alone, they had over 130,000 people come out, many in the Black communities in Houston, that voted via Dropbox. And now they no longer drop boxes in Texas. So that disenfranchises a whole community right there. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, especially when you consider that more and more of our elections are being won by smaller and smaller margins. Each of these access to the ballots and these expanded opportunities, they matter and they make a difference in elections.
Yeah, and the president has repeatedly taken the position that reform needs to be made on voting rights, but he has yet to use the bully pulpit to get it done. So, what would you like to see from the president to get voting rights legislation passed?
Listen, I want him to do the kinds of things that we saw Senator Hassan do this week, Friday. I want him to be out talking about voting rights to everyone. I want him to make the connection between voting rights and the necessity to get Build Back Better done as well. These programs go hand in hand. I want him to let everyone know that voting rights isn't just a black issue, to your point, preaching to the choir, but really help folks understand that this impacts everyone. I mean, think about rural whites who also don't have equal access to the ballot. Think about Native Americans living on reservations where they're not even having
Yeah,
polling
the list
locations in
goes
some
on and
spaces.
on. The list
And
goes
the list
on
goes
and on,
on.
Holly. You're so right about that. Absolutely. But thank you so much, Holly. Appreciate you joining us tonight on Prime. Take care.